gas prices are going up in Washington state. This segment is brought to you in partnership with our friends at Future 42. Turn your frustration into action at future42.org. Make sure you sign up for their newsletter to be alerted to opportunities to do just that. All right, we're number 3. We were number 1, and we've been number 2. We're number 3, so I'll take that for today. Washington gas prices right now, on average, according to AAA, $5.16 a gallon. We are a little lower than California and Hawaii. The national average, $3.85 a gallon. So it's going to cost you I'm trying to do the math, about $1.40 more in Washington state on average than elsewhere in the country. And certainly there are some places that are far lower than that. And the price is about to go up effective tomorrow. Because remember, during the legislative session, they raised the gas tax on top of everything else that's going on that contributes to our very high cost of fuel here. And yes, the situation in Iran has made it even worse. But the CCA, and then we have immensely massive gas taxes here. This from Como News. Washington's gas tax rises 2% on July 1st to 56.5 cents per gallon. So it'll go from 55.4 cents to 56.5 cents. It says with all other fees included, the average state charge comes to about 59 cents a gallon. After adding the federal gas tax on top of the new state rate, drivers will pay about 77.4 cents extra per gallon each time they fill up. And that, of course, is just the gas tax side of it. And it is one of the reasons why our state, California, have such consistently higher fuel rates than the rest of the country. But what's the other reason? The failed Climate Commitment Act. So, as you know, the second the Climate Commitment Act went into effect several years ago, gas immediately shot up. Everyone knew that the Climate Commitment Act, which basically takes these polluters have to buy auctions at market to be able to, like, carbon credits, and then they pass the cost of buying those credits on to people at the gas pump. So we all knew that the CCA would increase gas prices, but boy, did they do a good job lying about it. Now, something that former Governor Jay Inslee had always called for when the CCA went into effect and gas prices shut up, he'd never acknowledged that it was the result of the CCA, but they wanted to link our carbon market to California and Quebec that already has similar auctions. And they just did that a couple days ago. So Washington, California, Quebec signed carbon market agreement, setting the stage for historic climate partnership. So their thought process here, I guess, is we've all got these carbon auctions. Why don't we just make it kind of one auction, so to speak? And they believe that will drive the cost down of having to buy these carbon credits and then maybe, therefore, drive the resulting increase in fuel prices up. But I'll tell you why they're really doing it. Bob Ferguson, he'll tell you why this deal is really important. Here you go.
To illustrate as one example of the significance of linking our carbon markets, the Seattle Times editorial board recently called it, quote, a giant leap when considering the abandonment of climate leadership during Donald Trump's second presidency.
They're doing it because Trump bad. Got it. Okay. Governor Inslee had been trying to get the CCA on the books for years. It had nothing to do with Donald Trump, but they've got to justify all these weird things they do that don't actually do anything for the environment. They've got to justify it somehow. So they're justifying it because Donald Trump bad. But the key question is this. So with this new agreement, costs, through the roof right now because of Iran, because of the gas taxes going up. So a question posed to the governor and those gathered was, okay, when you link these markets, can you tell us the impact that will have on gas prices?
What's the current calculation for Washington and Quebec, plus Quebec and California in the increases in their pump prices due to their cap and trade programs? And how much what's the estimate for how much this agreement
Spit it out,
would
John.
bring those prices down?
Does anybody want to take that one on?
I can give a non-answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
Well, hold on. Did you hear that? That's Joe Fitzgibbon, State Rep Joe Fitzgibbon, who's one of the Democratic leaders in Olympia. And John asks him slowly, but it's a legitimate question, which is, okay, what is this going to do to gas prices then? Because that was sort of one of the reasons you pitched us on doing this linkage, right? And Joe Fitzgibbon comes up and says, oh, I can give a non-answer. They care so little for you. They have so little respect for you. I mean, that is the key question that every Washingtonian wants answered. And Joe Fitzgibbon, oh, I can give you a non-answer. And they all sort of laugh. Let's listen to his non-answer, shall we?
I can give a non-answer.
Yeah.
So funny.
Thank you, John. So, as we've extensively discussed since the passage of the program, right, there are compliance costs that the Climate Commitment Act imposes on fuel suppliers, and then it's up to them how much of those costs they choose to pass on to people at the pump, right?
Wait a second. Okay, we all know that to be true. We've known it since the beginning, but I don't know that I've ever seen a Democrat in Olympia acknowledge that there are compliance costs. I mean, they've literally never acknowledged that the CCA directly leads to higher gas prices. And there's Joe Fitzgibbon, now that Jay Inslee's out of office and now they have a comfortable majority, he's like, oh yeah, I mean, there's compliance costs. Of course they are. We were called like liars for saying this. It's like, there's compliance costs and it's really up to them. It's not our fault. It's up to them how much they want to pass on to consumers. I mean, we went 2-3 years with Governor Jay Inslee saying, what about gas prices in the CCA?
At what point are you going to tell the people of Washington State that they're going to possibly see much higher gas prices next year because of the CO2 emissions tax?
Well, that's not true. They're not going to see much higher gas prices, maybe even lower than they are today.
Oh,
this is going to have minimal impact, if any. Pennies. We're talking about pennies, potentially.
I mean, we all knew it was the biggest lie of all time when he was telling it. We all knew that, but now it's so casually. For Joe Fitzgibbon to say, I'll give you a non-answer. Yeah, of course there's compliance costs. But if they pass those costs along to you, that's not our fault. I mean, it's outrageous. So then he continues with his non-answer about how will this linkage reduce gas prices, if at all.
We don't know with precision where
We don't know.
clearance price for the joint auction is going to settle once California, Quebec, and Washington are all administering joint auctions. In general, the joint California-Quebec market has had lower auction prices, lower allowance prices than the Washington market.
Huh.
So our expectation is that it will bring down allowance prices for those 96 covered entities, including fuel distributors in our state. But we don't want to predict that with precision because this is for a market to decide. It's the whole structure of the program is that the supply and demand of these allowances will settle that. But in general, my expectation is that allowance prices will be lower once we have a linked market than they have been.
So first of all, Joe Fitzgibbon suddenly in favor of free markets all of a sudden. The market will decide, gee, let's apply that to some other policies that you've pushed through. But his short answer is we don't know. We have no clue. And we don't even know, frankly, if it will reduce gas prices. But then he points to, California has been doing this with Quebec and, their rates have been great. And so we expect that. What was California's gas prices today again? Oh, yeah, higher than Washington's, $5.43. So, yeah, I mean, I know a lot of that is the gas tax in California, but it's also a result of their carbon auctions that, yes, they've been doing with Quebec, but you still have Californians paying the second highest gas prices in the nation. So if you're trying to tell me that we're linked with California now, so we're going to do just as good as California, then that's not very good. I mean, it's such nonsense. They absolutely sell a load of BS to people. And I don't know if you spotted this. Do you see who was in the room behind old Bob Ferguson? The climate guru himself, former Governor Jay Inslee was there. Of course he has to be. He's the architect of the CCA.
Data Daddy himself.
Data Daddy. Oh, yes. Good OG Dory Monson reference. The Data Daddy himself, who set all these nonsense climate goals that'll never be achieved, not in his lifetime, not in our lifetime, not in our grandkids' lifetimes, because they're impossible. Who lied about, it'll only cost pennies, or you know what, gas will even be cheaper. Who lied through his teeth to basically turn himself into the climate governor with no track record to prove it, run for a presidential bid as the climate candidate to get 1% and fail miserably, and then go on to the private sector and pat his pockets through the climate grift that he created. But of course, Bob Ferguson felt compelled to give him a shout out for all his great work.
I do think I saw over my shoulder, hiding in the back, my predecessor, Governor Jay Inslee. Please give Governor Inslee a round of applause. I know Governor Inslee and his administration, of course, and many individuals of his administration. He's been I've said many times I've traveled the state of Washington, his leadership on issues related to climate are what? Significant.
significantly bad. I don't blame Bob. I couldn't, if I were saying that, I wouldn't be able to come up with an accurate word either. His climate are, they're significant. Yeah, significantly false, significantly horrible. It's also embarrassing. And at the end of the day, like so many policies passed at Olympia, you're the ones that end up suffering from it. Absolutely outrageous. That segment is brought to you in partnership with our friends at Future 42. Turn your frustration into action at future42.org. Make sure you sign up for their newsletter to be alerted to opportunities to do just that.